Radio Hereford FC, the only station with full match commentaries of the Bulls, every game, every week.
Well, hello and welcome to a We're Going Down the Pub special.
Yay.
Close season special with me, Frank Williams, and of course the usual, well, I say ground guide, but today it's player guide.
Oh, there's just no stopping me now.
Simon Wright is here to have a look at the... Well, it's the 1st of June we're recording this on. So far, Beadle's new boys, he has signed five new players.
It's easy to lose count and sign that many so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So we thought we'd have a look at them. So Simon, who's fresh back from his Mediterranean tour cruise.
Yeah. It wasn't as much fun as the
binge,
Shire, but,
whatever you want to call it.
Binge,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Binge. The number of desserts we got through is nobody's business, but there you go.
Yeah, liquid. Sangrian, I would imagine.
Oh, well, there was some of that as well, but you know, but when you're on a ship and they just keep offering you food and you keep eating it, what can...
Absolutely, but
anyway.
we're going to have a look at Beadle's signings. So, because what you've done is you've been lounging about on board a cruise liner, presumably on a beach and wherever, or in a bar, and you've decided to do some background rifling about our new players. And let's start off with the first one that he signed. Now, this lad has got 4 names. It's either Kean or Kean. I would have thought K-E-Y-O-N should be Kean. And it's either Reffel or Raffel. So you can pick, you can mix and match there.
I have no clue. The more I look at it, the more confused I'll become.
But we know a little bit about him, you see, because we're sitting in the Wagon Horses, as usual, in Halesowen, opposite Halesowen's ground, and he spent quite a time here on loan. And there is a video up on YouTube which you've posted, whatever, made by, I think it's by his girlfriend or certainly by his partner, which looks quite useful. But anyway, give us some background on, let's call him Kean Raffel.
Okay. Kean. Well, he's the obvious stuff. He's Welsh. He's 26.
Yeah, that's one thing about all his signings. Most of them seem to be Welsh.
Yes.
The only one that isn't
is a Brummie
called James Bowen, which is a Welsh name. So I think Jenks has had a lot to do with these prisons.
I think definitely. Definitely, certainly.
The Welsh have been robbed. Evesham have been totally decimated, but we'll come on to that later.
We are playing a friendly to make some money for you.
But not against them.
Not against them, no.
Exactly.
I'm sure they get the cut of it.
Anyway, come on.
Kean. Okay, right. He's been around a bit, like a lot of the players that we sign. I reckon the Bulls are his 11th club. So he's seen a bit of life in football terms.
And he's only 26.
Yes, yeah.
Which actually is sort of the middle age for our players now, aren't they? I think Jimmy Oates is 26, Mills is around that age, Pablo's around that age. So it's a good...
It's an experienced age, isn't it?
It's getting that way, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so much here. I mean, I'll just give you a few highlights, if you like. What Kean has is pace. Okay, wherever he's gone, clubs have spoken about his pace. And let's be honest, we haven't had a lot of pace in the Bulls team last season.
No.
We just couldn't replace Musi or Sid, and not surprisingly, who can really?
Yeah. Well, of course, we missed the pace last year when we lost Musi and Sid.
Yeah, we did, absolutely. We missed those guys.
And whatever. Okay. But you've likened him more to a Pablo Haysham type
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's played wide, he's played as a central striker, he's played most recently as a playmaker.
Okay, well, that's a throw also Pablo...
that's it, you know.
But he's got height.
Yeah. Do you know, he's actually billed as 6'1", but the video footage of him
doesn't make him look like that.
And make him look about 5.5 foot tall.
No, I think maybe it was filmed with a wide-angle lens. I don't know.
It's a strange one, isn't it? But he played for Cardiff Academy as a kid. Was only there a couple of years. Released at the age of 14. And after that, to use his own words, he just played football with his mates in a variety of pretty obscure Welsh clubs. One of which include, I hope I pronounce this, Carew FC, which is Ely, I think that's Cardiff, is it? And their website described them as having unbelievable techers. Now, I'm afraid maybe I'm an age group, I have no idea what techers meant, so I had to look that one up, and apparently it's talent.
Is that in Welsh?
No, I think it's just sort of modern dialect.
Right, it's
techers,
slang,
yeah.
It's border slang then.
Yeah. And but it's a wonderful testimonial, and then basically said he'll play at a high level, and they very much got that one right.
But I noticed it said this reference you put here from them is from 2011. So he was only 20 at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, he's 26 now. A lot can change in that time.
He sort of started getting himself noticed at Port Talbot, where he demonstrated his steely talents. There you go. Pun there, chaps. Pick that one up, chaps.
Didn't Greener play at Port Talbot for a while?
Did he?
I'm not certain. He may have done. Anyway, I'll look that one up.
Yeah. He played anywhere in midfield, left midfield, central midfield, right midfield, and then Kitty Harriers come along.
That was a kiss of death, then.
It did. But at the time, it was his dream, really. They scouted.
What, to play for Kidderminster Harriers?
Yeah, it's a pro contract.
Well, yeah.
And
okay.
yeah, well, it's a step up from Port Talbot, certainly. Like many young footballers, they want a pro contract, and apparently when they scouted him at the big Port Talbot versus Bala league game, he was made an offer.
Brings the crowds flocking in.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, he and his girlfriend apparently moved to Worcester.
Yeah.
And got very excited about this contract at Kiddie, but
it didn't really work.
No,
out.
it didn't. No. Fairly quickly, he was being loaned to a certain club 100 yards down the road, Halesowen Town,
and he did well.
He did.
Yeah.
Again, the footage doesn't make him look like 6'1" tall, but they played him as a central striker, which I don't think he's played too much there, but he got 5 goals in 20.
Yeah, but a lot of the footage I saw, he was picking the ball up just short the halfway line and spraying it out wide and bringing other people into play. And with his pace, he was making good runs into the box.
Absolutely.
So, at Halesowen's level, which is ours.
Yep, step 3.
Yeah, step 3, and they're at the lower end of that at the moment, lower reaches of it. Quite a good, solid performer.
Well, he turned their season. They were struggling, and his goals made a difference and made them safe. But I think after a few months, he went back to Kiddie, and it just wasn't working. Fortunately, the Merthyr boys come along.
They did.
Now, I'm assuming that at that time, early 2016, Steve Jenkins would be in charge.
Maybe.
I think but anyway, we can argue about that later.
Yeah.
And basically, Kearns played as an attacking midfield playmaker for them and made a hell of a difference. Great quote from Gav Williams, who obviously took over from Steve Jenks. He's a talented guy, he said. In all my years in football, he's the most unselfish player I have ever met. The number of assists he has is frightening.
Well, get on well with their lot then.
Well, they're a pretty selfish bunch.
Yeah, they are actually. But they do like sticking them away from somebody else's hard work. Just ask Aaron Birch.
Yeah.
All the times he didn't get man of the match for all the running about and assists. That maybe he should have done.
And I know a Merthyr stroke Albion supporter who able to tell me a little more.
I mean, we know they're Hereford stroke Albion supporters. I mean, you are almost living proof of one. Yeah.
You mean I'm not living?
Well, you're not proof. You're not proof. But a Merthyr Albion.
It's an unusual combo.
It is, isn't it?
It's an unusual combo. He's cynical about both of them at the moment. But now, what he was able to add, basically, in his opinion, is far better in the hole than he is up top. He's very quick. Mentioned the pace again, but he did say that his finishing is woeful. But hey, look, we got half a dozen players who can do the finishing at Edgar Street. I'm not worried about that too much.
Yeah.
And apparently his tackling would shame Julian Clary. So that's an interesting.
Julian Clary is not famed for it. Well,
no,
he doesn't like getting his hair out of place.
Well, it's an interesting sort of comparison, really. So.
and occasionally
has games where sort of Dolly goes out of pram.
Right, not at the races. Yeah.
And if I dare suggest, this is a Welsh Pablo.
Right.
I mean, you really don't want Pablo doing too much tackling, do you? It's it's hand.
Yeah, because
hand
every
over
time he
eyes.
does, he tends to get
It's
sent
the wrong
off.
side.
He tends to get sent off.
Yes.
I mean, he only tackled twice last season, and he lost 6 matches as a result of it. So, yeah.
So the Welsh Pablo. There you go.
He did score a very good goal in their pre-season last year at Edgar Street.
At Edgar Street. If you look at the footage, he was charged through a rather meagre back line at high
Was at the
speed.
time,
yeah.
But he's moved from Worcester back to Cardiff.
As far as I know, I believe he lives in Cardiff now. He's got a young son, another one on the way. So
Okay.
maybe the additional, financial responsibilities of being a dad to two, perhaps,
Yeah.
made a
So
difference in his decision making.
obviously Greener might have some company
Greener,
during his
yeah.
commute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
right.
would be which would be nice.
Grateful for that.
Okay. Well, that's we'll have a little break for some
quick
for some
slurp,
beer
yeah.
before we look at the next new arrival at Edgar Street. Okay, so now we come to our second new arrival. Well, no, almost new arrival. He's been with us before. James Malcolm Robert Bowen.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who's not Welsh, for heaven's sake. He's a Brummie.
He's a Brummie,
He's a Brummie.
Oh dear. Never
His
mind.
second spell at Edgar Street.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. But he clearly hasn't forgotten his first.
Obviously not.
You go into his much visited Facebook page, and the main picture is Hereford as Step 5 champions.
Indeed. Yep.
And if you look in the photos, you'll find his standard Lee Mills selfie. I think he stuck it there just in the hope he doesn't have to do another one with Lee when he rolls up at the ground. So are you listening, Lee? You've got him already, mate. He's a Brummie. He's JB. I'm sure he's going to be called JB. He's a blue nose, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what a blue nose is, it's a Birmingham City fan.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
It does cast a little doubt in his judgment, to be honest with you. But unlike many Birmingham City supporters, he's very good at throwing things.
He's the Rory Delap of our... Yes, he is. He's was it Jamie Willett said it was the longest
throw he'd ever seen.
Yeah, mind you, don't know how many he's ever seen.
No,
I mean,
true.
he's only been at Stourport and Oliver Church, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, But I mean, he's an incredibly good long throw.
Well, the games I've seen in Northern Premier League, which is our equivalent, Step 3, every team has somebody who can chuck the ball. As we see, because I believe we're playing Stourbridge, so look out for little Tommy Tonks who can throw it from one side to the other pretty much.
Only in the Black Country could you have a player called Little Tommy Tonks. Could you really?
But you wouldn't want to argue with him,
But we have JB, James Bowen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He had hopes of being a professional at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
As many people do. But he did make the first team. He played 3 times for them in what is still the 4th division to you and I, Frank.
Yep.
But he didn't make the great leap forward from there. And then he started being loaned out. Now I think once 1 loan spell, fine, 2 maybe, but when you start to getting 3 and 4, I'm sure he's thinking, the writing's on the wall. Evesham, Bishop's Cleeve, Gloucester. I think we were his 4th loan move, so I think he'd pretty much written off Cheltenham by then. Normally a left back. When he was with Gloucester, he played a number of games left wing for him, which is quite, when you have a small squad, versatile players are always handy. He got rocked out by the Robins, if I can use that phrase. Look, I spent half an hour putting that line together. So
half an hour? Yeah. What did you do for the other 29 and a half minutes of it?
Rebuilt it. And from there, Stafford Rangers took him.
Yeah.
Now, Stafford Rangers, Step 3, Northern Prem, recently promoted. They do have a reputation for being a rather aggressive bunch, probably the Didcot of Northern Prem. And JB sort of...
Well, yeah, you don't. It depends how good they are. Because I didn't think Didcot were very good at it, to be quite honest.
No, just ugly, weren't they? Yeah.
There are other teams who were, I think, better at being more physical than Didcot. They were just only blatantly over the top.
Yeah, nasty people.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I've only saw Stafford once last season. They were very, very fast running and weren't that bad foul-wise. But old JB, he pitched in. He got sent off at Matlock.
For an early bath.
Yeah. I just script.
That's my Matlock joke of the night.
Oh dear. But in fairness...
Yes, everybody, that wasn't in the script. I made that one up. Yeah.
Thanks to a very good video team, they proved he was not guilty of anything, and that was rescinded. But he also got 10 bookings. There's a distinctly Orion Green-esque
Didn't get away with all of them then?
No.
Just the one that would have got him...
Yeah. So that was 2 suspensions for a lot of bookings. But however, he played 40-odd games in Step 3 for what is a tough... That is, Northern Prem is a tough league, honestly. It's tougher than Southern Prem.
I see here that you've put our new fullback lives in Coles Hill. Which means a depressing amount of travelling for him. Well, I wouldn't be. The sooner I can get out of Coles Hill, I'd be less depressed, to be quite honest.
It's a charming place.
Well, it was a very pleasant trip there for us season before last, but not the sort of place you necessarily want to spend most of your living life in.
Well, there's not too many places that have a cafe stroke pint shop.
What's this line that he doesn't own a ginger cat?
Oh, yes.
Explain that.
Yes.
Simon has put in his script most of it's garbage anyway, but I don't.
Well, obviously it is,
He probably doesn't own a ginger cat.
Yes,
Explain.
this is true. Okay. Now, if I was to say the name James Bowen, to most people they would say James Bowen, the author. James Bowen, the reformed drug abuser who sold copies of The Big Issue with a ginger cat on his shoulder. And thanks to the absolute charming ginger cat called Bob, turned his life around, become a celebrity. I think he's written 2 or even 3 books, and there might be a film rights on the way now.
Now, how many of you out there knew that?
Honestly, if you Google it, it'll be everywhere.
It will be.
And it's actually very good.
And if you didn't know it before,
Yeah.
you do now.
You get educated on this programme.
Well, you would think you do. Yes. Okay, well, that's a look at our second...
Yeah.
We're going to have another
More
sip.
to come.
There
More
is.
slurping in the background.
We're going to have another little sip, a little break before we carry on. Right, everybody, welcome back for our look at our new players. So the 5 so far. We're on to player number 3. This is Garion Vernon Preen. Well, the Garion Vernon bit is very Welsh. Not sure about Preen.
But he is very Welsh,
Yes.
and he's played in Europe, which is probably one of his claim to fame.
Yeah.
But
And is that right age group again, mid-20s?
yes, 25 and well travelled.
Well, we seem to be getting these, they're not journeymen. No, they're not old enough to be journeymen, but,
I think it's
plying
just
their trade.
I think it's just the reality of trying to establish yourself somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not easy for young
It's his
players.
10th club in 7 years.
Yeah.
Go on, name them.
Yeah, well, I could run them all off. Burton Albion, Stafford, Salisbury, oh dear, and Merthyr.
Yeah, everything's okay there apart from Salisbury. I thought we might get... I wondered how far into the new season that we would get before mentioning Sainsbury's and or Floors to Go, or whatever you want to call them. But we haven't even managed to get to the new season, and we've had to mention them already. Okay, so he's an ex-Salisbury.
Yeah, he didn't play 4 games for them. It was a passing fad.
Yeah.
Like Keon, he was with the Cardiff City Academy as a youngster. Preen and Reffel have actually played together for Afonido. There you go. You really want to know that.
Yep.
Now, Preen moved on to Southampton's academy. Now that's a very good academy. Yeah. Now, if I got this right, I think he moved at the age of 12, which must have created some problems for his family.
As they live in Tredegar, yes.
Well, exactly, yes.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't quite know how that worked out. Whether the whole family had to move as well.
But he was doing well at the time.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at him at that age, you think this kid's going somewhere, because he picked up a string of Welsh under 17 caps, then Welsh under 19 caps. He got 14.
Yeah.
But then, just like 99 out of 100 people in football academies, he didn't make it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much but Welsh under 17, under 19 caps. It's not like,
True, but it's a landmark, isn't it? He was Welsh, therefore he plays for Wales.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
If you look on Google again, there's a solitary picture of him wearing a Southampton kit.
Yeah.
And had you gone on eBay and rummaged, you could actually find a preen Southampton shirt that somebody was selling for £70.
What?
I think he got on the bench once for a cup match. So there's I can't remember, I got a number, I can't remember what the number is, but there's that shirt does exist. And like so many other players, he had to start again to make his name. Moved around a bit, as we mentioned. It wasn't until he got to Cinderford where he started to really shine a bit. He the first season he got 9 goals, which is actually the best he's ever done. He's never been a prolific goal scorer. He's always been a left winger as far as I can see. I've read that he can play anywhere across the front line. Well, I've not seen any evidence of that. For me, he's very much left-sided winger.
A wide man, something we have missed.
Yes, a specialist wide player, absolutely we have, I think, on the left side.
Yeah. So that's obviously, we're looking at then either Pablo or our other new player, Keon, being able to come in and play in that hole.
On that side, that side.
Okay.
Cinderford, he had a long-term injury which knocked him back, a knee injury, and then he took an offer to move to Hungerford, who were Southern League Prem, league higher. He had another injury there. This isn't some kind of sequence building up. He had a persistent hamstring injury, but he did play regularly for Hungerford and actually set up the winning goal in the playoff final in Step 3.
Right.
So, that's a bit of a claim to fame. Obviously he was kept on in Step 2, National League South, but he didn't, for whatever reason, didn't seem to play very often there. So when the chance to come have a loan at Evesham come along, he grabbed it. He went there in December 2016. 2-month loan period, seemed to have another falling out with Hungerford, and then moved permanently to Evesham. Now bear in mind he's still living in South Wales, so that must be a bit of a trek for him, poor chap. And it seems like the second half of the season for Evesham he played pretty much every game on the left wing, and you can well imagine he set up quite a few chances for one Lance Smith.
Yes, we will come to in a bit. So
indeed.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the decimation of Evesham.
Yes, it is. Now, interestingly, Garin, he's primarily a student.
Right.
He got a scholarship with the University of South Wales, which is basically
It says here, though, he has worked for a door and window company. Does that explain the glazed expression I can see on this picture we've got of him here?
Oh, very sharp. You're good at this, aren't you?
No, absolutely not.
And it's the University in South Wales and Hartpury are the two big rivals in the University Football Stakes, which I didn't quite realise. We may remember the Bucks Cup final in March 2016 when University of South Wales played Hartpury, which probably made up half the Hereford team, and University of South Wales won that 1-0 and they've not stopped crowing about it since.
I think actually Pablo actually made the Hartpury team, didn't he?
I think Pablo has joined them since. He's now studying for a Masters, isn't he? And they met.
We're very well educated.
We are incredibly well, and there'll be more to come.
It's us supporters and volunteers who are lagging behind a bit in the Grey Matter Stakes.
Yeah, perhaps we should be having classes for supporters to help them keep up with the players. But, yeah. And just to throw in again, University of South Wales met Hartpury again January this year for a key league match. 0-0 going into the last minute, and then Jimmy Oates pops up for the opposition and scores. Now you
Excellent,
now you would imagine Jimmy Oates being right back, may well have been trying to mark free left winger.
Yeah.
So that'd be an interesting one, isn't he?
Yeah. He says, he's proper Welsh.
Proper Welsh, yes. Yep. Even though he's got a German name, but
Really?
Yeah, Garin is. It's got German origins, means warrior.
Right.
So strange one, but there you go. He's born in Tredegar.
Never mind.
Yeah, indeed, and has lived in Ebervale for the last 7 years. So another one who likes travelling long distances. But
And he probably, if he lives in Ebervale, I'd definitely say he won't mind travelling long distance. Now, this European experience.
We mustn't forget this.
Go on.
Yeah, he played for Neath in the Europa League qualifiers.
Oh.
Just the one game. But hey, look, he's done it. So many players have never played in Europe.
So he's got a bit of pedigree, but it looks like there might be a bit of injury pedigree there as well.
Yes,
But,
there you go. Another well-educated player. Then.
Yeah, well, we've got more of them to come. We'll have another little break,
Yeah.
another little musical stab, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes for the next one. Okay, here we go again with our fourth new player to arrive at Edgar Street pre-season, up to and including the 1st of June, as far as we know. And this one has a great name, doesn't he? He's a real golden boy in the making when you've got a name like Lance Smith.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. And you've put a title here, Goals, Music and Intelligence.
Yeah, he's perhaps a bit different even to the massed ranks of intelligent footballers that we already have. He's got 13 GCSEs to his name, 3 A levels, and when he got his A level results, he moved to Southsea to study at Pompey University, where he went for a BSc in Music and Sound Technology.
That's exactly what my lad's degree is in.
Is it really? So you can explain to the unclear what that actually means.
He's got sound technology, which half of it, but the other one is performance based.
Right.
All right. I mean, my lad, you know, is a drummer. He's a professional drummer now, that's what his. Although actually it's really, I think, it's BSc, so he's majored in the sound technology side.
Yes, he has. And
my lad's is a BA because he mastered on the performance side of it. But yes,
and there's a reason for Lance doing what he did, which we'll come on to very soon.
Yeah, but I love this. What you've put here. I'm going to read this out because you've skipped over it. But I thought, he boosts the number of graduates in the Hereford FC squad. Have we ever had such a well-educated team? Easy to imagine in-depth discussions around Proust or nuclear fusion over the furled pages of The Guardian on away coach trips. I don't think so. Get the lager out, lads. It's going to be, and where's the sun?
Well, I'd like to think not. I like to think not. But we do have incredible. When you think of all the players who we've got in our squad who've got degrees, who have or very senior academic qualification, they all.
Well, in fact, we seem to be getting rid of all the ones that haven't. Basically.
Well, that's the thought, isn't it?
Could it be the reason why? Yeah, sorry, lad, you're out. You know, why not? I've got a degree. That's right.
That's interesting.
So obviously he ended up playing centre forward for the university football team.
Yes, and I dug out a match report from 2011 where he scored a spectacular goal against Brunei University, and apparently this was the best 90 minutes of the season for the team. So it's really making a difference. He's always been a forward. And pretty much always lived in Evesham, but at the time
when he graduated, he returned to Evesham. Well, that's a lack of ambition to start with. Really. I've graduated. I have a degree in the music performance and sound technology. Where am I going to go to spend the rest of my life? Evesham.
It's cheap. That's where his parents are. It's cheap.
My lads moved back home.
Exactly.
That's why it's cheap, isn't it?
He had played a bit for Badsey Rangers in the Midland Com.
Yeah.
But I think roughly about the time they moved back from uni, he also transferred to Evesham FC, and he's been there ever since, really.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the job he's got. I like his job.
Yeah.
It does fit in well with his degree. You wouldn't think so, but it does actually fit in well with his degree.
It does, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
He's with it's a company called DB Systems in Tewkesbury. They appear to have quite a global presence, but they're basically an events company.
Yeah, well, that's where the sound tech will come in,
and
but
sets up PA.
But apparently his nickname there is Lancelot.
Yes.
Well, how
there
interesting
you go.
is
Work
that
that one
then?
out. Yeah. But you know,
I mean, that's so original. Your name's Lance, so you're going to be called Lancelot. You know, if my name was Lance, I'd like it shortened to Lance. Yes, really, that would be enough.
But there's an interesting angle there for Martin Brain to be having words. I would have thought.
Mind you, exactly. Yeah. Mind you, I suppose Lancelot better than be called Lanny. You wouldn't be called Lanny, would you? Lanny Smith, Lan.
Yeah, he's an account manager with the company, whatever that means. Probably presumably selling stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. But he has been loyal to Evesham over the last 4 years. Redditch, Hensford, Stourbridge, and probably other clubs have put in bids, and he's turned them all down.
But not us.
They couldn't say no to the Mighty Bulls. We are so sexy.
Yeah.
His record, he's got 74 goals in 154 games.
Well,
which for anybody other than John Mills is pretty bloody good, really.
Yeah, really, yeah. At that same level, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Mills would probably say, that all? Last season was his best season. He got 27 in 38.
Yeah.
But missed others due to injury.
I hope it's not another one.
Yeah, well,
he's got one already coming through. Hamstrings here and hamstring there.
He's never played a full season yet.
Yeah.
Due to illness, injury, or work unavailability.
Well, I have to say, the number of forwards who he got at the moment, he's got a fair chance of not playing a full season again.
This is true. Hereford players are expected to be there, aren't they, normally? So that may have to change. Evesham manager Paul Coddick come out with the usual. He's a local lad and he's a big favourite. On his day, he's as good as anything in the league. So there you go. Potted history there. The company's based in Tewkesbury, so I guess it's quite handy for coming out to the Shire.
He lives in Evesham.
Yes, he lives in Evesham, and he does like to travel, but then again, doesn't everybody?
But apart from, unlike a lot of the other players I've seen, I've had 10 clubs in 7 years or whatever, that doesn't apply to it. It's been a wrench for him to leave. I know Beeds is really impressed with him. The trouble is, we've seen all these teams last season, and you think, he'd be a good one to have. And yet, when you look back and you think, we've had him now. We've actually captured him.
Yeah.
What was he like? Can't remember. I think we'll have to get hold of James's footages from the Evesham matches and skate around and look at the 7 players in there that Beeds tried to get.
Yes. Well, of course, Lance didn't play in the end of season game at Evesham, but he did play in April. From what I remember of him, he was a very strong player. I believe played up front pretty much by himself. Held the ball up well. That's a talent that we could probably do slightly more of. Could, rely on the beast rather too much. So you would imagine he's really going to be pitching in there for a place.
Well, they all are.
Well, of course they are.
All of these are. They're not.
But he is a central striker.
However, you've got to think that they know the crack at Hereford. They know how many players we've got, how many quality are, and they know. Don't you, that you've got to have ambition to get in the side, because if you haven't, you're going to be on the bench.
Yes,
you need that ambition to get on there, and there will be people who will sit on the bench.
You're going to imagine now the friendlies aren't going to be anything but friendly. They're going to be pushing and jostling and swimming to get minutes on the pitch, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
And make it interesting. I mean, I take it Radio Hereford will be covering these important games.
We are covering all the friendlies as far as I'm aware.
Yay.
Yeah, starting off with Old Wolverhampton on that Tuesday night in July.
Yes.
We will be there. Well, you and I will be there.
We'll be translating, won't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, there's dingles everywhere around there, which is a bit depressing.
Oh, it is, yeah. But it's a lovely little ground.
It is.
Have we been there before? As most of you know.
It's an awful lot more pleasant in July than it is in January, though.
Yes. But I do hope they have that. They empty the gym again and make it into a bar, which is
that would be civilised, wouldn't it?
Okay, that's number 4 out of the way, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our final player, number 5. Okay, and welcome back. And we're looking at the 5 players to the Beatles signed so far. And we're on the last one. I love this name as well. We're getting a team of film stars together, all porn stars. Jack Damon. I mean, and it is pronounced Damon.
Yes.
Jack Edward Damon.
Yeah, he seems like a resourceful guy. He's certainly been around a bit, as is the want of many of our new signings. He's London-born, but I think he got over that fairly quickly and mysteriously morphed into North Wales.
There you are. See, there's a Welsh connection again.
Yeah, North Wales.
Yeah, that's it. And they bumped into Jenks on the way, and that's it. Where does he end up now? Well, come on, lad. Come on down, Boyle.
Well, it's bound to be
a lovely time, Boyle.
Oh, I've done that. Well done. Yes, formative years, North Wales. Went to a sports college in North Wales. Joined the Wrexham FC youth team. Prodded all the way by his dad.
What, to join Wrexham? Go on, son, join Wrexham. Go on. What?
Well, when you're in North Wales, there's nowhere else to go.
That's one dumped dad. I would think that, right.
His dad nearly made it as a footballer and wanted his son to do better. And from there, he had an offer to join Birmingham City, which I guess must have appealed at the time, but it is just the Blue Nose at the end of the day. I don't know why people get so enthused about them, but he had a choice. Blue Noses, Norwich, Burnley, Celtic.
Right.
And he chose the Blue Noses.
You're right. Well, you wouldn't choose Celtic, would you? You don't want to play conference football when you're looking at the stuff, really.
Oh, but think of the European glory. But
okay. Well, he could have gone to TNS and done that, and still stayed in North Wales.
He could have done.
You know, if he wanted European football, go to TNS. You need to go all the way up to Celtic and play a level of football slightly lower than the Welsh Premier.
Yeah, nice.
With big crowds.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not a great fan of the Scottish Premier League.
No, I gathered that.
Well, no, I'm not a great fan of Scottish Premier football because when you think we've had players who've gone from Hereford.
Marley Watkins
went.
Who scored the winner in a cup final.
That's right. In his first season in Scotland, they go up, and they make it straight into Premier teams in Scottish football when they come from League Two and Conference.
It's modest, isn't it? It's modest football. Yeah. But anyway, poor old Jack, like so many of our players, didn't hit the big time. Curtis Davies apparently was his big mate at Birmingham and gave him lots of advice, which makes me slightly scared because Curtis Davies was notorious for making mistakes in his career, but there you go.
Well, by going to Birmingham to start with, that was the biggest one. Yeah.
And, he had to get on the treadmill and try various clubs. He thought he had a chance at Torquay. But his chance come to a very unfortunate end when he put his leg in a rabbit hole in the training ground.
I've got visions of Bugs Bunny here of Elmer Fudd with the big blunderbuss gun chasing.
Yeah, he made a very big blunderbuss.
Being sucked into this huge hole in the ground. He tripped in a divot, basically.
Sorry, Jack, but that obviously put him out for a few weeks and his chance had gone. So Eastbourne come along and offer him a go.
Well, step two.
Exactly. He had 20 games.
Yeah.
And then Cheltenham had another look at him.
Yeah.
He'd had a youth loan there earlier. He hadn't come on, but he'd made himself noticed. And Cheltenham, good bet.
Yeah.
Back in the league, full-time pro.
Yeah.
And things were going well. He got in over 18-month period. He played 17 games.
Right.
Mostly at centre half, but sometimes he had to fill in, so he played left back or sometimes defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, he rapidly became a favourite with the club TV because he's basically a very articulate guy.
Really?
He really is. Yeah. I mean, again, you look on Google, there's 6-7 different interviews with him. He's a squad player, but they kept going back to him because they knew
he knew what he could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Other people.
I hope he's not one. And I hope you're not listening to this, Jack, that can talk a good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can all do that. We've all done that from the pub. We're doing it now. We're doing it.
Well, we're doing a bit of
no, he's got pedigree though.
He certainly has, and became a dad in early 2015.
Good. He can get his kids to go and play for Wrexham now.
sort of
He
keep
could
it in
take
the
over the
family.
mantle, yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm sure you know yourself, Frank, when you become a dad, there's a new urgency to, to build a career,
No, we're going
get
back,
money
we're
coming
going
in.
back quarter of a century.
Yeah,
right? But
okay. But
No, I was looking to retire from the moment. I thought, when they're old enough to earn a living, I can retire.
They can
Exactly,
sponge
yeah.
off them.
Yeah.
So, poor old Jack, he played for Telford, step 2 again. He had 14 games there, which is a reasonable number.
Yeah.
But then he had Robbins released him. He went to Basingstoke. He went to Salford.
Yeah.
Decent clubs, but he wasn't getting long-term games. And then Gloucester come in. Now this is a really strange one. I've never come across this combination. He was a player stroke commercial sales manager for Gloucester City.
Well, considering they're homeless, they've moved around
Yeah.
about 4 times. He didn't do a very good job.
Well, he only did that dual role for 4 months, but I just love the uniqueness
Yeah,
of it.
it would be difficult, wouldn't it? I'm selling advertising hoardings behind the goal, but the trouble is we keep moving grounds. So we have to take him up and move him with us.
Oh dear,
He's given up. Next season we're Evesham boys. Come on, move him.
Move him around. But somehow he managed to fund his way through a UEFA B coaching licence.
Right.
I mean, that's about £6,000 in this country, so that that's a big investment. And
Right.
he worked as a football coach when he left Gloucester, a day job as the commercial manager.
And what's he doing now?
He is a senior football college coach at Hartbury.
Wow.
Yay!
So he's teaching somehow.
Yeah,
He
he's teaching
wanted
Jimmy Oates. We're trying to teach Jimmy Oates. I can't imagine
So
teaching very
he'll
much.
be a colleague of Simo's.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Can you imagine having coffee with Simo in the staff room?
Offering tips, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a small world.
they will know each other well.
You'd imagine so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now, Jack played 32 games at step 2 for Gloucester.
Last season.
Yeah,
That's good going.
He's going.
Yep.
One sending off, arguing too much at Kidderminster.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well,
Wouldn't
yeah.
you?
I think
I'd say, ref, I don't like it here.
no. Car parking charges are stupid. Now, one of his assets is he's very comfortable with the ball, which is pretty handy really for
I hope he's
defender.
not one of those that tries to walk it out of defence
Well.
again.
Well,
But it doesn't matter, because I've decided this season, that looking at our new lineups, that we're obviously going to take what was last season the early season Liverpool approach. It doesn't matter how many goals you score against it, we're going to score one more than you. Well, when you've got 15 attackers,
Yeah.
but might as well play to your strengths.
exactly. He just played 3-0-7. How does that sound?
Yeah,
that works, doesn't it?
Actually, though, he has got very good pedigree.
Yeah, and Gloucester's manager said Damon is above National League North.
Right.
That's quite an accolade.
And who can
Resist the sexy balls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is his 10th club.
10th club.
Yeah, so it's
Been
another one
around.
that's been around.
Yeah, been around.
Mind you, see, McGrath had been around, hadn't he? And then he's come. I know he's been with us longer than he's been with anybody, and he's signed to stay again. There is something about our club at the moment.
We are a sexy project.
Absolutely.
Now, do you imagine with these new signings, Frank, that 3-5-2 may just be the way to go? We've got 3 centre halves now. We've got
We got 2 good fullbacks.
2 fullbacks, wing backs easily.
I don't think Bees is a great fan. But
I don't
having
either.
said that, it does offer you a plan B,
Of course it does.
which we didn't have last year. We didn't have a plan B. If things went wrong, started to go wrong, we looked a bit lost at trying to. If we can switch to a 3-5-2 system during a match comfortably by bringing certain people on and switching things around, in difficult situations and so on, that might very well be what he's looking at. Not a new approach, but a proper plan B, that you can switch things around.
It is so exciting, the attacking talent we have. We basically 7 forwards.
Yes, and he's brought people in. At the back, he's brought people in who are experienced at this level and above.
And above, yes.
Bowen is and Damon is at the back. they're experienced above this level, at Conference North and Conference South level. Up front, he's taken people who he's looked at and thought they can do a job for us, but which is why he probably needs so many of them, because none of them, including Wolsey and Pablo, none of them are proven at Southern League Premier level.
With the exception of possibly of the Beast.
But I mean, he did build the team attacking around the Beast. I mean, the Beast played practically every game last year.
He did.
Yeah. So whatever he did, whatever he changed, he didn't change the Beast.
No.
And that might be.
That might be something you may have to look at.
Yeah.
Given the height of Step 3 defenders, they're big lads.
Yeah. But Reffel has played at this level above.
Yes.
But most of the others we're taking with us, from.
These are exciting times, guys.
But they're always exciting times.
Yeah.
We'll have another one of these sessions before the season starts,
Yeah,
I'm sure, because there'll be more people coming in.
But...
What we might do, I think, is we might do a rough guide to all the grounds that we're going to be visiting. Maybe we'll do 5 or 6 at a time. Not a full ground guide, just little bits of information and maybe a few snippets. Fixture list is due out July the 13th. We'll certainly do some guides then on the early ones in August, and of course FA Cup will come reasonably early.
Bring it on.
But at least we don't have to go to the preliminary round this year.
No, first round qualifying.
First round
Big boys round.
Well, thank you everybody.
Thank you for listening.
Indeed.
And catch you again.
Yeah, with maybe some more new players. I would think he's probably looking at a goalkeeper. And possibly some more cover at the back, but things are looking good.
Well, he won with 5 plays by the end of May. It's remarkable for any club.
Yeah. But he knew, I think he's known who he's wanted, and he's gone for them. We also know he's known who he's wanted, and he's failed in getting one or two that he wanted. And credit to some people who say, no, yeah, it's a great offer, but it's not for me. That's great. And of course we have had one player leave us who's gone to play at a higher level, and people say, what does he want to go and play for Gloucester for, Alex Harris, what are you going to play Gloucester for? He's playing in front of 300 or 400. He wants to test himself at the highest possible level.
And he's also cut down on commuting as well, which
absolutely
is a consideration.
Absolutely, but if he wants to play at a higher level, that's great, and you have to credit him for that. That he's moved for the right footballing reason.
I always thought one of our goalkeepers would leave because there's only room for one basically.
And they're both very good.
And I honestly thought the horse would leave.
But the thing is, we have a very young 17-year-old inexperienced who's not ready to be thrown in yet, and Horse who's still got that shoulder problem, which is going to need an operation at some point, which can be funded by the PFA. So that's not a problem. We don't have to. It's not like a Jamie Cuss issue. We haven't yet had it done. Beats is going to want cover there. I'm sure he is. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening, and we will catch up with you again very, very soon. Goodbye.
This is Radio Hereford FC, the home of the Bulls. Match Day Live.